There's no alarm clock that can wake you up. There's no other individual that can wake you up. There's an alarm clock going on right now. And guess what? A dead person is still dead. And that alarm clock continues to go off. So that's a blessing that you woke up this morning. Blessing number 2 of the many blessings. You are of your right mind. You put your shirt over your shoulders and you put your pants over your legs. Now, some may say, well, I can't put my shirt over my shoulders. I have to have somebody else to do it. Well, that person's a blessing to you. And somebody else did it. The point is, you are of your right mind. Blessing number 3, for the simple fact that you have clothes in your closet and you can choose which clothes that you want put on your body. Whether it's work clothes or not. That's a blessing. For the simple fact that you have a job to go to, or you had a job that you retired from, or you have an interview for a job that you're trying to get. Guess what? That's a blessing. Do I need to continue on? I guess I do. Jive 4LYF3. Thank you so much. I guess I do. I need to continue to go on. For the simple fact that you have a garage or a driveway or a parking lot and there's a car that you drive or you have someone drive for you. Guess what? That's a blessing. For the simple fact that you have a house to come out of and to go into, or an apartment, or a co-op, or a townhome, whatever. That's a blessing. And if you do have children, they are blessings. You see, God loves you. He loves you. He shows agape love, which is the highest level of love. That's a love that we can never, ever reach on this earth as long as we're in this sinful flesh. Don't get it twisted. The devil will try to lie to you. Well, my car is raggedy. The walls at my church is cracking. So on and so forth. But for the simple fact that you got a child that's never been set foot in a jail cell. You got a child that is doing the right thing. Those are blessings. For the simple fact that you got a church home to go to, that's a blessing if you choose to go to it. That's a blessing. Don't get it twisted. To God be all the glory. Now I'm going to stop preaching. I hope that cleared it up for some of you what the tithe is and why you give the tithe. You don't give it as a job. That's not a job that you do. You don't give it because it's said that you have to. You give it wholeheartedly and you give it cheerfully. That's the only way God will accept it. Remember the story of Cain and Abel. To God be the glory. All right, here we go. So, we are at the point, we're coming up to the climactic ending of Miles Away from Home. Jared has been in a coma for 11 days. He is just coming out of the coma. And as the doctor is apparently going out of the room, out of his hospital room, Deborah, lo and behold, slips in to the room. Now, Deborah, mind you, the reason why Jared is in that condition is because he saw a news flash at the bottom of the television screen that Deborah was pronounced dead on arrival at a New York City hospital, which that news was not accurate, and it ended up being false news. So, Deborah is speaking at this time. This is a double narrative. I will continue. Miles Away from Home, written by American author, yours truly, Charles Sloan Jr. This is Deborah speaking. I said, "Excuse me," to the doctor as I slipped into Jared's room. I could not get out to the hospital fast enough. The nurse called me and told me that Jared had awakened out of his coma. I had drowned myself in sorrow and tears for the past 6 days. Guilt, shame, and despair had completely come over me. I had on my sunglasses to try to cover the pain I was feeling inside. I had inflicted this pain on myself and on Jared. I stood quietly with my head down just inside the hospital room door as the doctor walked out. The doctor gently pointed to Jared, telling him they would start the test in the morning and make sure to take it easy and stay calm. I was happy the doctor was not finished and decided to come back into the room and stay with Jared and with us for a little while longer, so Jared's attention would not be fully focused on me. Jared told me to come over and have a seat. He smiled at me, but my guilty conscience could feel the pain behind his smile. I managed to smile back at Jared. Jared told me that he did not want to see me sick, I forgot my water, or hear about me dying with him around. He then quickly laughed and told me that when he saw the awful news flash, he took his last breath. For those of you that have seen these these live videos, remember the note that Jared wrote to Deborah. When you hurt, I hurt. When you're in pain, I'm in pain. When you feel happy, I feel happy. When you feel sad, I feel sad, so on and so forth. Jared's undying love for his wife is what it showed. Okay, this is Jared speaking. My mind told me to take my last breath. I could not live. I could not go on if you had died. My love for you is exponential. The doctor began talking after I finished and told me that everything seems to be under control, and he left. This is Deborah speaking, back again. Jared continued talking to me, but I could not even look him in the face. He also told me, don't miss this, he never stopped praying, never stopped writing, and never stopped longing for me to be with him and for me to reunite with my Father. He continued that the prayers were already answered, and he didn't know why or how it was going to happen, but he knew it was going to happen. God sent him someone to remind him to continue praying and writing to my Father and not to give up hope. Jared told me about the dream he had and the veteran player who signed everything, number 73. He showed me the card. I told him I read every card while he was in a coma. Then I reached in my purse, don't miss this, and pulled out a card I had in my hospital room. And I read these words: "It is not your time. God is not done with you yet on this earth. You have been miles away from home long enough. It is now time for the journey back home, and it begins now. Your love is needed on earth right now. Restore your faith and be strong. Signed, number 73. Now that was to Deborah. As I was reading the letter to Jared, another person knocked softly on the door. It was Jared's dad and stepmom. I put the letter back in my purse. They embraced me, and his mom, or his stepmom, wiped my hair from my face and removed my sunglasses. She told me there was nothing to hide from and be thankful family was here. Right then, the rest of Jared's brothers came in. Smooth commented that they were breaking the rules of ICU, but they had to see their little brother. I went and stood close to Jared. And he reached out his hand and put his hand inside my hand. My heart felt complete, and at that moment, my arms began to quiver. I sighed deeply and looked to Jared and whispered to him that I was sorry. As the tears began to flow from my eyes and down my face, Bullet told Jared to get out of the bed and put on some gear so they could play like old times. They all laughed, but I had not come to be able to laugh with them. I was still feeling bad about what I had done to Jared and our marriage. The family sat and reminisced about old times. I still was feeling sorry for myself and what I had done to the man that truly loved me. Good morning, AAMP Promotions. Thank you for joining. Jared pulled me close to him as Jared and his brothers bantered back and forth about old times. Right then, in front of all of them, Jared kissed me on my forehead and prayed. His prayer made me feel better. It had been a long time since I had prayed. So I began praying with him. She's journeying back home, guys. Then the rest of the family began to pray. At the end of the prayer, Jared requested that I sing. The journey continues. That I sing one of the songs that I had sung while he was asleep. Don't miss this. My arms began to quiver as I closed my eyes and sung, I Give Myself Away. Jared's family began to sing with me, and I could feel us coming closer together. Thank you for joining T-Love 2171. Thank you guys for all the likes and the reactions. While we were singing, Jared whispered to me with reassurance that the day of the union with my father was coming. He told me he could feel it in his mended heart. My love for Jared was fully restored that day, and I would never leave his side again. All of what this life brings to us from now on, we would journey through it together. Wow. This is a reading from Miles Away from Home by yours truly, American author Charles Sloan Jr.